dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.
What's up? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you today. Why? Because I said so. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but overall, we're going to be talking about how to choose. And this came about, with the recent situation with Jada going on her tour, trying to promote her book, and everybody has given their take. I've given mine just a tad bit, but I want to talk about how to choose, how to choose a spouse, how to choose a mate, and what does that look like, and all the things in between here and there. And we have some new people and some old people that have joined us this evening to talk. And the question is going to be, how would you describe your leadership style in a relationship? How would you describe your leadership style in a relationship? Then we'll start with the newbie. How's it going, sir? You're on mute.
Why start with me?
Listen, I start with whoever.
Yeah, it's all good. What was the question now? The
question is, how would you describe your leadership style in a relationship?
For me, I'm the type of person who I just like to go with the flow mostly. I really don't have a leadership style. I'm still in the process of learning. I'm married, but at the same time, I went from living a life of a whole bunch of secular to now I'm more into the biblical realm of things. So I'm still in the process of learning. I can't really describe a style that I have because I haven't really just figured that all the way out. So just honesty.
Hey, I appreciate the honesty. Hey, we're going to welcome to the stage our other Brandon. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
glad
good,
to be back. Thanks for having me.
For sure, man. I've been on a hiatus.
Yeah, man, I've been coming up, man. I got,
doing your thing.
I've been busy living life, man. I'm back, freshly engaged and stuff.
Yeah, congratulations,
on
bro.
that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you kindly. Yeah, so I think to answer your question of what my leadership styles, I feel like my guy here made a valid point with I'm also kind of learning my leadership style as well, being in this. But if I had to pick and choose one, I would say I would follow a more kind of a strength-based collaborative approach. And in a sense that I do agree that in relationships these days, the guy, the man, regardless of if it fails or succeeds, especially if it fails, the man is looked at as like, it's your fault. You kind of got it there. So I don't understand like the responsibility and the kind of the expectation that society kind of places on men. So with that being in mind, I do like to believe that like I kind of have the final say in the relationship. But that being said, it is a strength-based collaborative approach. So like I also recognize that I don't know everything, and I'm about to marry this woman who has a whole set of strengths that I don't have, that I may necessarily work on, and she may have a different or better view of the field, so to speak, and she's able to kind of collaborate with me so I can make that final decision, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. Hey, we're gonna welcome to the stage the Barry White of the group, the Lost in Translation.
Good evening, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm good. What's going on, Doc?
Good. Earlier you asked what was my particular leadership style within a relationship. I lead each individual from the inside out. Basically, I figure out what their PMF is, or primary motivating factor, and figure out exactly what it is that actually moves them, and then help them move to that particular desired result. You see what I'm saying? Because people, it's better to lead people on how to pull than for you to be as a leader and get behind them and push. It's always easier to, say, hey, this is what you said you wanted. Let me show you how you can get it. So that's how I lead. I lead from the inside out.
That's what's up. Let's see what this prototype dude talking about. He already got in the comments. What's going on? Prototype.
I mean, from the inside out is crazy.
You like that, nigga?
You know what it sound like to me? Like, yeah, I lead it from the inside out, baby. He came on with that voice. No, my leadership style is very much players coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the guy who run the laps with you. You know what I'm saying? Do the drills with you, get in the mud with you, motivate you that way. Like, hey, we could do this together. You know what I mean? So this is what you set your bounds. Like, this is what I need you to do. I'm still from a coach. My plan, whatever. But this is how we're going to do this, and I'm gonna make sure you don't feel alone in it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna drive through. So that's kind of my leadership style is, to kind of get down dirty with you.
Like a Bill Russell.
I don't know basketball, but
he was the first player coach. He won a championship with the Celtics back in.
You see how my shoulders is built? Do I look like a hooper to you?
You don't look like no football player to me either, but you say, you know what I'm saying?
You sure about that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody
player don't look like me.
I'm just messing with
Google me.
As usual. Dwayne, welcome to the stage. How's it going, sir? Oh, here you go with your traditions.
Yo. I'm living it. You're right.
The question of the evening is, how would you describe your leadership style in a relationship?
In a relationship, leadership style is that's a good question. Set the objective and announce what the objective is, and we're gonna get it. You know what? I'm not really too assertive. I'm flexible until we're going off the cliff. So I'm also open to suggestions as well. So leadership is going up for me. Hey, especially in marriage and parenting, ain't done this before. Ain't seen it, be modeled well. So it's like, hey, we in this together. So God put me in a particular position, and just as long as I adhere to His prescription, I believe I'll be good. So
that's what's up. I would say that for me, I would consider myself a servant leader. Similar to like kind of the combination of what you all are kind of saying, like what Prototype said, like a player coach, being married twice and seeing that I have to be a different husband to both of them, right? Both of them have a different vantage point and how they do things and how they see things, and so I would say that what I look to do is find out what they are, where are their strengths and where their opportunities that I can bring to the forefront to help us to get to where we need to get to, right? And I believe that that's how men should operate from that position, finding out, like Dwayne said, he says, well, we got to look and see what the goal is, and then we got to plan out to get to the goal. And so if she knows what the goals are and you're able to explain to her where you want her to be inside those goals, as long as they're to her strengths and you're going to be helping her with her areas of opportunity, you're going to have a really good opportunity to have a successful marriage, in my estimation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. And so that kind of leads us to talking about, what's your take on Will and Jada? Provide your thought on Will and Jada, since we have these different perspectives on, well, I won't say different, but we were able to give a different definition that kind of was connected about being a leader. But I want you to talk to me about what would you say, or give your thoughts on Will and Jada's scenario. And I give you some think time before I let you know who we gonna go with first. Unless some of y'all probably already got y'all thoughts together. All right. We'll go with the buffet pod, Mr. Brandon.
So you're asking me what I think the leadership style is in the Will and Jada.
No. Just it's just transitioning to, you can give your thoughts on the
What's
Will
going
and
on with
Jada
that?
situation. Yeah.
Man, I am sick and tired of hearing about them. I am so tired of that. Like I'm ready for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we talk about the 48 oyster lady? But the Will and Jada stuff, man, is frustrating because I guess obviously at this point I gotta believe there's a piece of it that we're missing. Or maybe even several pieces that we're missing about the context and everything. But just from what I'm seeing and what she's putting out there, it's not looking very good. It looks very messy. It just looks like it's her just talking, just trying to talking negatively about Will. Will hasn't come out here and said anything negative about her. Haven't really said anything about his relationship with her. So I'm just like, why can't she kind of do the same thing? It's just very messy to me, and I just wish that she would just kind of be quiet about it. That's really where I'm at with it.
All right, bet. Who you got going next?
Next, I'm gonna go with you know what? I'm gonna hear something spicy. Let me go with Prototype.
That's such a dumb transition, bro.
Nah, man, my take on Will and Jada is, you kind of feel bad for Will, but not really. They're celebrities, man, and I'm sure they off doing what they do, gallivanting and this and that, man. I'm sure he really don't care. I know if I was Will, I'd just be trading them out. I wouldn't be caring, wouldn't have a care in the world when it came to women. So, um, yeah, I just it's just unfortunate that she's like using the platform that way. But I mean, I guess if she's trying to sell a book, then that's just what she's doing. You know what I mean? But my take on them is really delusional, man. That whole family's like odd. You know what I mean? And you could tell his leadership style is 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 whack for real. Just because I mean, it say in the Bible, man. It tell you a man by how his family look. You know what I'm saying? So if his wife is out of order and his kids is all goofy, and it is what it is, man. So you can tell what kind of leader he is. What's up, Dwayne?
Man. Appreciate that prototype. But yeah, I'm with both of y'all. I'm tired of hearing it. And I believe the family structure is a little off. But I'm gonna give this perspective. They're entertainers. They entertain. That's what they do for a living, and they're going to continue to do it for a living. They get paid off of us talking about them. We don't get paid to talk about them. So, that's how I look at the situation. What I do know is it's not a good model for what a marriage looks like or should look like. I appreciate Will sticking in there, and trying to do the best, I guess. But that's a tough situation to be in. It's a real tough situation to be in. But yeah, kudos to him for not dragging her through the mud. But yeah, what you got is my point.
Like Prototype said, I think the whole family's loony. I think Jada's been wearing the pants for a little bit too long. She has this man doing all kind of crazy foolishness, and she don't really just cut for him like that. So I feel like they just need to sit down somewhere. Like everybody said, I'm tired of hearing about it. It's not really entertaining, even though they are entertainers. It's not really entertaining. It's kind of sick. Like I feel like these people are just doing anything and everything to get attention, and I ain't with it. So,
Well, my take is, of course, I mean, we can be done talking about them, but we can also learn a little bit from the what not to do's, because what I saw was that is Will is at fault more than she is. Because the reason why I say that is because the man is supposed to set the precedent for the environment of his household. And so, and then he also decided to marry her from what information has been said, speculation that she didn't necessarily want to be married. Right. And so why would you wife somebody that don't really want to be married? You feel me? And then not only that, somebody suggested that they have an open relationship, and he definitely said okay, because it did end up happening. And then also, I was watching some pictures that somebody had put together, and in the first couple of years, they seemed to be very newlywedish. And then all of a sudden, her body language changed towards him, but he was very much assertive towards her, which made me speculate on what did he do to where she would want to get back at him in this particular regard. And that what sparked that for me was the Damian Lillard situation. Y'all know about Damian Lillard? He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks now with Giannis, and he married his high school sweetheart maybe a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago or so. And he's all about loyalty. Okay, and most men are about loyalty. And a couple of days ago, he filed for divorce from her. Not only that, he told her to get out, and he asked her and told her to take away his last name. Now that is very rare, right? And so that led me to speculate that she did something like cheating. I don't know if that's the truth, but for him to do that, I think that's what she may have done. And so I'm on the flip side. That's what I'm saying. I think that may have happened in this Will Jada situation, that he did something that she didn't particularly like, because she definitely gave him the cold shoulder on a regular basis after that second year. So that's what we can learn from that. Go ahead, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go ahead and slide in there. I think that what people are not looking at is that Will and Jada come from a privileged situation, basically child stars. So they never really grew up. So watching them raise their kids is like watching two 14-year-olds raise kids. You know what I'm saying? You never seen a grown man raise their kids the way that they raised them. Not only that, he picked Jada from a place of scarcity. He was like, she's the only one for me. You know what I mean? And he spent his whole time trying to convince her that she loved him when she really never did. She was in love with, somebody who ain't here no more. You know what I mean? Tupac. And that's all she was consumed about. And when you have somebody who lives like that, there's no way you can please them, man. No way that you can. So my whole thing is this: coming from his perspective, he chose Jada from a mindset of a 14-year-old boy versus a 30-year-old grown man, because a 14-year-old boy will pick a woman based upon whether he likes her or she likes him. But a 30-year-old man is going to pick a woman based upon how well she fits into his life and does she help him serve his purpose. So in this particular situation, I think Will Smith just didn't get a chance to grow up in his situation. Remember, he's privileged. He came from money. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point. And once you get into Hollywood, you're around, these people are shielded from certain things that happen, to you in life. Like regular people, they have to, get it out the mud. They experience heartbreak on a more frequent level, versus, other people that, in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? True enough, they had their problems or whatever, but it's cushioned because they don't have to do the same thing monotonously over and over and over again, getting up, going to work, having to ask your wife what's for dinner. She didn't have to do none of that. You see what I'm saying? They lived basically a charmed life. And when you have a wife who's lived a charmed life, it's kind of hard to impress her. So my thing is this: I think he got to the point where he couldn't satisfy her from the inside out, and she couldn't do nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? She just decided, hey, I can't do nothing with you. I don't want to be with you. I want to be with Tupac. I want to climb in the grave with him. I want to sell drugs with him in heaven. You know what I'm saying? All type of foolishness. So yeah, she said all of that. She said he had alopecia, all type of foolishness, man. So my whole thing is this: if you have a woman who didn't choose you herself, along with you choosing her, it's a no-go. It ain't gonna work. And that's exactly what happened with Will and Jada.
So I got some pushback, just not real pushback, but just analyze the situation, right?
Right.
Will was still in his 20s when he married Jada. You know what I'm saying? Like they were, and you got to think about who you were in your 20s, man.
Correct.
Like I think the best time to grab a man is when he's most naive. I think when we're under 30, we're naive and not understanding our true value. So we want to get married because we're thinking about what we will be. We haven't reached it yet, but
Correct.
we know we want a family. Like the best time to get us is when we're like under 30 and like over 45. In between that time, you got to be a hell of a woman to really like bag a dude from 30 to 45. You know what I'm saying? But before
Right.
that, you can catch a dude who thinks he's on a rise, you know what I'm saying? But he's just working with his potential. And after 45, when he done did it all, and he's like, all right, I'll settle down and be cool. You know what I'm saying? But in that time in between, I think that's where you're speaking from. You know what I'm saying? And I think where a lot of people are going to be speaking from of what he should have did or could be doing or XYZ. I mean, he was still in his 20s when he married her. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to kind of like with that understanding, I'm like, that's where that decision came from. You
Correct.
know what I mean? So
Correct. That wasn't really pushback. I was understanding exactly. That's exactly what's coming from. It was a place of immaturity. So you're right.
Anybody's got to take
Wasn't he
from that.
married? Wasn't he married one time before?
Yeah, he was married before he
Jada?
married Jada.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
okay. So I was like, dang, or nothing.
That don't count, man. He's still immature. You know,
How
Yeah,
that
right,
don't
right.
count? They gotta
it's
count.
not a don't. I mean, but it's
Just
still a
because
place
you
of
get married, it
maturity
don't
because he's
count.
like, you know what I'm saying? He's still under 30. Like
You got to be
I don't
kidding
know,
me.
man.
That don't count,
we
bro.
I don't
we
know.
gonna get we gonna okay. Now come on, gentlemen.
I don't
So
know if I believe that.
men can make all types of follies in their 20s, and we don't say, well, they were just young. We don't give dudes that pass, right? If you're doing grown people type stuff, we don't be like, oh, okay, well, they just young. Maybe some things, but not as it relates to getting married. Like Will saw a marriage. His mom and dad were married. He also in the book he talks about how violent his dad was his dad was his biggest hero, but at the same time his biggest crutch, right? So it's not like he didn't see what a marriage was and be ready to get married the first time, right? And then not only that, he was like, okay, well, I think she divorced him, if I'm not mistaken. The first wife divorced him, and he was like, well, I didn't want to get divorced, but she wanted to. And then the next time I get married, I'm not getting a divorce, right? So it's not like he didn't have an understanding of what he was getting into. It was just a matter of how he decided to choose, in my estimation. Brandon, what you got?
I agree with you on that one. I was like, well, the first time, you know, what I'm saying maybe we can give him a mulligan for the first one, but the second one, I would imagine like he could have you know, learned something from it. Like, so you in your 20s, I mean, I understand that, you know, we was young. I remember being in my 20s doing wild, you know, crazy, stupid shit. But I also remember that I was grown. I was responsible for like myself. Like no one was going to bail me out. You know, if I hit somebody in the face, that's assault. You know, that's not no kid, you know, playing in the playground no more. I'm gonna get arrested. So I would imagine, especially when you going into marriage, which I believe, you know, most people understand, it's not something that you go into lightly, or it's not something that you're supposed to go into lightly. I would hope and believe that, you know, saying he would have recognized like how important it was, especially the second time going around, how important it was to find somebody who was aligned with, you know, your life, who's not going to want to file for divorce from you, or who you're not going to want to file from divorce from. If getting a divorce was something that he definitely never wanted to do, I would think that he would go out of his way to ensure, to the best of his ability, that he will find somebody who he will be able to go the long distance for.
I seen the interview with Jada, and she was saying that's the reason why they didn't get the divorce. That the whole open relationship thing, that was just a ploy because they didn't want to act. They've been separated for quite some time, but they just didn't want to get a divorce because I guess how it was going to look or whatever. But she was saying something about they made a promise to each other that they wouldn't divorce no matter what. But it comes a time when a man looks at a situation, or a woman, however, whatever, that you got to look at the situation for what it is and realize that this is not going to work. Then we don't need to be together at all. Forget a separation. Forget we living in two different houses, because that's what was going on with them. They weren't even living together for at least like 5-6 years. So divorce should have been on the table if that's the case.
Well, I agree with you on that. Like, I would think divorce would be on the table. But if they both adamant about not getting divorced and they was okay living their separate lives and stuff for the last 5-6 years, and they're that I figure like why couldn't they just continue to do that? Why somebody got to jump off the boat and jump out the window and then start airing out everybody's dirty laundry? Like nobody would have
That's
known
not
no
what
different.
marriage is.
Shit to them it is.
It's like I said, 14-year-olds fighting. What Jada did was what's known as narcissistic equivocation. Basically, you're saying the same thing without saying the same thing. You know what I mean? You're for something and against something, so you can't totally be wrong for it. So that's what she's doing. She's playing both sides of the fence. And if you've never been around somebody like that, you wouldn't know what it was called, but that's exactly what it's called. People who've experienced it know exactly how people do that. They want to say, I was for marriage, but I was against it. But I'm still here, but we're married. We're living in the same house, but we were married for 26, 46 years. And then we separated for 7, but we're still living together. And I don't want to get divorced. All of that stuff is crazy. What does all that mean at the end of the day? It means absolutely nothing. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we can't fall, victim to foolishness like that. And if you've never experienced something like that, you would think you were crazy. You would think you'd be getting gaslit. You see what I'm saying? To the normal people who hear that, based upon what side of the argument they're going to be on, Jada's right. And if you hear the other people from the other side, based upon what she says, she's going to be wrong. That is by design on purpose.
That's what's
I
up.
think Jada going for not being wrong. I don't think she. I think at this point, I don't think she's trying.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she's trying to be right. I just think she's trying to not be wrong. So like you said about that. Like everything she say, you can't really say she's wrong because how she say it, how she speaks. So it's like if she's not wrong, then is she right? She's not.
I'll say it. She's
Let's go,
wrong.
Ash.
I'll say it. Hello, lateness to the party. I said she wrong. I don't care what y'all say. Baby, how you get on there and just be embarrassed and tell everybody? I don't care what nobody say. At the end of the day, why are you embarrassing the family, the unit? Like if y'all got an open relationship, okay, fine, cool. Everybody knew y'all was y'all little whatever y'all doing, whatever you want to call it, whatever label, brand, however you want to package it and sell it. But at the same time, I just feel like we'll need to move on. Cause how much I don't even know how to say it.
How much can
Like
humiliation?
yeah, how can you how much can you take? It's demeaning. You know what I'm saying? Like she started claiming Tupac, and the man is not here. My first baby daddy is not here to defend himself against her. So it's like, why are you doing this? Like, what is the purpose? Like, I know Will Mel cheated. Hey, they both cheated. She had a whole open relationship that she called an entanglement. But at the same time, it's like Will don't really speak on y'all relationship like that. Why are you doing it? Like, are you that hungry for attention or something? Did we miss something?
Spiteful.
Y'all know
I think
I'm the
she's trying to
devil
get him.
advocate.
I think she's trying to get him to file for divorce by pushing him as much. Trying to. You're not going to divorce me. All right, I'm gonna go say this. You ain't gonna divorce me now. All right, I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna keep pushing and pushing you. I'm trying to get you to break first. That's
Well,
my
why
opinion
don't
right
you
now.
just go do it? I mean, you love to bring stuff to the red table. Why don't just put the divorce on the red table and let him sign it right there so we all can see it? So you can
Must be in
sit
a
there and play
prenup.
the victim, but not be the victim, but be the hero in your own story. That's crazy to me.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
No, so Lost in Translation said something, and he was like, "You ain't fooling nobody." What happened? Was it the Oscars?
Yeah.
I think a whole lot of people was fooled.
I wasn't fooled.
Well, I was neither. I was neither. But look, he looked mighty stoic and heroic up there, didn't he?
Of course he did. He wanted to be the hero.
I know, but to what and for who? And
For himself. For the
oh,
little boy inside of him. He wanted to be the hero.
well, I think they all got paid off of that. I believe Jada got paid because there was a drug for alopecia in the works at that time. The notion or the idea of alopecia got spread around to a whole lot of people that didn't know about it after that event. Chris Rock got paid because he had a couple of tours that he went on for his comedy that was selling out because of that event. Will he kept his same status and all that stuff. He still kept his Oscar and all that jazz, didn't he? So I think they still but then to find out that they weren't even together. So the question is, what the hell was all that for?
Exactly. But my thing is this, Brent, Dwayne, they already paid, bro. So money is not the issue. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what the issue is. The issue is that Jada wants to be just as famous as Will. Yes, she does. I'm gonna tell you how I know. Basically, what she's doing, she's riding Will's coattail. In racing, we call that slipstreaming. Basically, what it is, you get behind the car that's going the fastest, and you get behind them so it's less wind resistance. So when it comes time to pass and get to the finish line, you pop out. You already got momentum, and you pass them. So basically, what she's doing while Will is quiet, she's putting herself in front, getting the attention. That's the main reason why she's selling her book. That's the main reason why she's bringing the red table talks back. She needs the attention. That's all that is.
Yeah, I could jive with that, definitely. And I'll throw one last thing in there. I do believe, from the occultic standpoint, there are humiliation rituals. So a lot of these things we're sitting here talking about as for humiliation, like he's being humiliated. I think there's a ritual that is set just for that. And for him just to sit there and take it for so long, hey, there's clout that can be obtained for that too.
Yeah, I was if y'all listen to his book. If y'all listen to his book called Will, I just listened to it with my wife. He had some issues growing up as it relates to taking it up for himself. You know, so we all are byproducts of our childhood and how we responded then. We oftentimes respond the same way. So he talks about that he was afraid to even fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like an eruption, so to speak. What this came down, even though they may have been separated, it almost seemed like he didn't want to look foolish. And so that's probably why he did it at that particular point in time. But I digress. And so this kind of transitions into, his decision making in choosing his second wife. Right? We don't know what the first wife was like, but then we do know what's going on to a degree of his current wife. As somebody in the comments say, his ex-wife. But nevertheless, then I want to talk about, like, how would you say, how would anybody choose a good mate? Right. The reason why I asked that is because it's been a lot of, I won't say a lot, but I guess it's been a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people in the tabloids or the media that have been getting divorced, and it has been on the front pages of things. Because why can't they just get a divorce in silence? Why does it have to be propaganda, so to speak? So for us earthlings, how do we choose a good mate? If you've been married or not, we'll just take your perspective on it. How would you suggest that you choose a good mate? We'll start with the newbie of the group. Is my point valid? How would you choose a good mate? Or how did you choose a good mate?
Well, for me, I grew up in the church home, so my mother was my example. She was a modest woman, first off. So any woman out here that wants to put herself on display for the whole world, that's first off, that's a red flag. Women who are combative, who want to argue about everything, always in somebody's face, that's another no for me. My mother was none of those things, and my mother cooked, she cleaned, she did all the things for the household. She took care of all the kids. You have to look for a woman who is willing to take that role on. See, nowadays, these modern women, they have their values are all over the place. They want to be independent. They want to do everything on their own, but they still want a man. So for me, I'm looking for a modest woman, somebody who knows what a woman is supposed to be, what a wife is supposed to be, and not stuck on I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it. So,
who you got going next?
Prototype, you been quiet back there. What's up?
I'm surprised I agree with you, man.
Why is that surprising? What's up?
You don't agree with nobody. You don't agree with nobody.
Man, don't let the background fool you, man.
No, I mean, except for the mother thing, I definitely think like you got to find a woman that goes on your program. Um, I think all women, can be tamed. I guess I'll say for the lack of better words word choice, but
Nah, that's the words you wanted to use. You was just timid to say
but
something.
I mean, it's the woman who's willing to be, follow your lead and jump on your program. If she's not doing that, she's not jumping on your program. She's being dismissive or anything. There's any red flags, man. You gotta dump her. I think a lot of times though, like I kind of spoke about earlier, when we're young in our 20s, we don't necessarily know um what's coming for our 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know who we'll be in our 30s and how many more options we'll have when we hit that stride. So I think we pull the trigger too early a lot of times, just thinking that, oh, I want to start my family, I want to do this, I want to do that. I need my wife that's going to help me like raise these kids or help me like navigate through life. Um, but women don't like to navigate through life with you. They just want to, ride the coattails and do whatever you tell them to do. You know what I'm saying? So if uh if you're dependent on her to kind of like give you some input, then you messing up because she don't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you just gotta find one that's gonna do whatever you say do and ride the program. So that's it.
Who you got next?
Let's go with Ash.
You would, wouldn't you? You would. I knew where you was coming from, man. Well, for me, it's more of I need you to understand that I am your helpmate, but I ain't your slave. How about that? Since we're going to use these words around here, it's not. I wouldn't say that I'm traditional. I wouldn't say I'm martyr. I'm somewhere in between. It's like I can roll with you as long as you got some type of idea going. Because me and the kids, we can't go down the street and you trying to make lefts and rights where ain't no dedicated street here. You trying to make this path out of nowhere. I can't do it no more. I don't got too old. I can't be fixing flat tires and stuff. You know, is to me it's like now versus when I was dating earlier. It's more of I need you to be accountable. We need to be able to sit down about how we're wrong. I don't have a problem admitting I'm wrong. I say it on this podcast all the time. I done been wrong 99.9% of the time. Probably was wrong all day today. But at the same time, I want to be able to communicate with you. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk to you because what I see what's going on is a lot of talking at. Ain't nobody listening. Everybody just talking to respond. And so with me going forward, I want to be able to talk to the person, make sure I can communicate my thoughts clearly without being, as y'all like to say, over emotional, because you do get a little riled up and take things over the hill and down through the mountains and down through the valley. So that would be my thing. And I'll go with Brandon.
Before Brandon go, Ash, I have a quick question. What
I
is
ain't
it
doing
like?
it.
What is it like being on a panel full of men? Like, what are you learning, if
What I
anything?
what I really learning is what I always think guys have emotion and guys don't have a safe place to talk, especially around women, because it's like you have to be on guard. And with me, I'd rather for you to speak how you feel so I can get the true meaning of what's going on with you. Because as so far I've been learning from, every guy has a different perspective because Prototype don't normally agree with anybody. He always, running with it. Love you, Prototype. But it's just, being around y'all for the few Mondays that I have joined in, it's really just opened my perspective. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to show that all you got different backgrounds, y'all come from different places, y'all different places in y'all life, but at the same time the meaning is still the same. You still want to be valued, respect, and you don't want to mouth the woman, and you don't want to be combative in your home.
That's what it's about. That's what I'm talking about. Brandon, on you.
Uh, okay, so how would I choose a good mate? I would say uh, shared
You
values.
can actually say how you did. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
you
what I'm
ain't
saying. That's
great.
something I'm trying to think back. Like, what was the things that that jumped out at me. So a lot of it was like, it was shared values, reciprocity. That I should have started with that one, was the reciprocity, in the sense of just like, she wasn't afraid to show interest. She wasn't afraid to show that, yo, I want to be here. Like, I'm interested in you. I want to be pursued by you. I want this to move forward, together. And that's very, very refreshing, because this getting that choosing look from somebody can kind of help alleviate a lot of those initial stages when it comes to, when you're building that initial part of the relationship. And that kind of goes into the mutual respect. What I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of times, a lot of guys generally have the experience of women talking at them, talking to you as if like you a little boy, as if like, I'm trying to lead you down a path that you don't know that you need to be on, but I'm telling you, I'm bringing you down this path. So being spoken to as an adult, as somebody who has their life together, who before they met them, is another part that's like that's refreshing. So I said having that mutual respect and being trustworthy, where I don't have to worry about, what you're doing when we're not around each other. I never had to worry about those things. I'm not worried about, if she coming home from work, is she making any stops on the way? I don't have to worry about it. I don't have any reason to think about that. And I think that definitely goes both ways as well. And one of the very important ones is how she handles conflict. How does she act when she's not feeling good? When she's angry, when she's frustrated, when she's hungry. How does she speak to me? How does how does she behave when things aren't going her way? And seeing just the way that she handles conflict, being pretty calm, being very calm and willing to come together and talk and be able to receive criticism, constructive criticism, well, and implement those things pretty much immediately, and be able to come to me and speak the same to me, kind of, and boost and motivate me. That those were some of the main things that kind of not only drew me, but kept me there, kept me here. And now, what I'm saying, got a ring on it. Now, next would be, I'm gonna go with Lost and Trent. Lost, you went?
I hadn't went
yet.
Go ahead. How do you pick a good spouse? Okay. Say, for instance, you're entertaining somebody. Okay. I like to start with the end in mind. I said, paint a picture. We're at your funeral and I'm speaking over you. How do you want to be remembered? What would you like me to say about you? And I would listen. If she mentions anything other than a dutiful wife, I'm going to have to pass. I'm going to tell you why. Because everything that we do for each other. If I die, I want to say I was the best husband, best father, best son, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. He did this, he did that, XYZ in the community, blah, 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 blah. If she started mentioning anything other than that, it's a no-go. Now, if she says, I want to be remembered for being a dutiful wife, the next question is, how are we going to get to that point? How do you get from that point? Let's walk it backwards. How do we get to that particular point? You see what I'm saying? Because here's my thing. If I'm called to die for you, I need you to be worth dying for. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to ask the question straight up. How do you want to be remembered? And how do we work towards that? And that's it. That is it. Every single day from here on out, we're going to work toward that goal. And that's it. And who we have left?
Tis I.
Dwayne, let's go.
Yeah. Well, my best judgment, which they say you're not supposed to judge, but I'm over here judging. Well, I got the card up. That's a 5. That's a 4. Oh, that right there is a 10. And I'm not talking about looks alone. Like, yeah, we visual, right? But it's about your soul. I'm looking deeper than just what your outside look like. And for me, the prerequisite is you have to be and had to been a God-fearing woman. Once that is established, I know you have a foundation and a baseline of truth. And no matter what we go through, whatever rains and whatever wind comes, that we're gonna be good. Because once your foundation's on God and my foundation's on God, yeah, we gonna be good. Because hey, that is our foundation. That is the rock. That is the source of good. That is the source of righteousness. And if we're off and out of alignment, it's because we are no longer focusing on the source. So that's my prerequisite for a good mate.
To add on top of that though, to get a little bit more detailed, for me, you got to make me look good at the Christmas party.
He's right.
In what particular way, bro? Because there's a couple different ways.
In every shape, form, or fashion, right? So if I can't take you to the Christmas party and the next day, like my bosses, my managers isn't like bigging me up, you know what I'm saying? You ain't the one. You know what I'm saying? So when the Christmas party come around and I got to take you to these events or whatever, you make me look good. You know what I'm saying? So I need your feet right. I need your hair right. I need the physical. I don't need
The
no
heels.
tattoos on the
She
face.
gotta have on the heels.
Gotta have the heels, but I got a thing for like you can't have ugly feet. Boomerang messed me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if your feet on crusty, like you know what I'm saying, or not looking right. You know what I'm saying? And it might, you know, hey, everybody don't got the prettiest feet. You just ain't the one for me. You know what I'm saying? But this is what the thing. Like I said, Boomerang kind of took the cake on that. But I mean, to sum it up, you got to make me look good at the Christmas party. You know what I'm saying? If you don't look good at the Christmas party, then you ain't the one.
Did everybody go?
I think that was it.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. Okay.
They
for
were
me,
laughing at me, talking about I'm putting them in the grave already from the first question. I said, if she does her job right, I go before her.
yeah, that's
and she'll be speaking over me instead.
That's
you know,
hilarious. That's
right.
Hilarious. For me, I would give the credence of those of you that are followers of Christ, that you get, you know, in your word and you pray, and that will help you choose. He will help you choose. You know, and it's going to be, and oftentimes I think that it will be unexpected of who it is that you may think that it is your type, and then it's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? For me, with Kendra, it was a God moment for real, because it was not expected, you know, to even get into the mode of wanting to be married. And then once she came into the picture, I had all of these. The next part of the sequence, I would say, was I'm looking for the nose. My fellas know what I'm talking about, but women kind of have a hard time kind of understanding why the guy is looking for the no. Well, we're looking for the no, that you're not the one, so that we can go ahead and move out the way, you know, because if there's a no, it doesn't make any sense to continue the progress of a relationship. And if the yeses keep being checked, then that allows us to keep moving forward, you know, and not wasting time. Those of us that are marriage minded is who I'm referring to. And then after that, if you got kids, you want to know how she acts around your kids. If you don't have kids and you want to have kids, then you need to be having a conversation about, you know, what type of parent did she have? What type of parent did she want to, she plan on being? Similar to what Lost in Translation is talking about. I think that's a really good idea, to start with the end in mind and work backwards. I mean, that's how you reach goals, is what they tell us, right? So, but yeah, communicate with the Father and the Holy Spirit, and see what it is that, you know, what you need to do for yourself, and then what it is that you need to be, who you need to be looking for. I think that would be helpful. And then, as the other people have mentioned, what are your goals going forward, and how can they be introduced to those goals, or how will you introduce them to the goals, and how can they help you reach those goals? And if you have preference as it relates to feet, you know what I'm saying, then put it on the list. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's hair, if it's weight, if it's looks, whatever it is, you're welcome to put that as a preference. Just know that it may not always come how you think it will. you know. So I think you should be open-minded as well. That's my take on it, right? And so as we transition, I want to also be on that same plane. Do y'all seen the video where to me, send me this video. It's gone viral. I think it's a skit, but nevertheless, let's talk about it. Where the lady was, she felt like it was wrong to take her to the cheese factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Yeah,
Cheesecake
we saw
Factory.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm gonna keep it simple. What's wrong with a woman not wanting to go to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date? And anybody can go. We keep it.
What's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I love cheesecake.
The lady said she didn't like going. She didn't want to go, you know, and that it was a chain restaurant and she was looking too beautiful.
So, what you should have said?
She was ugly though.
So first off, she showed up an hour late when he came to pick her up. He had reservations at a nicer restaurant, but because she showed up an hour late or made him wait outside while she got herself ready, she wasn't even that hot from the get-go. She made him wait. So that was his other option. So really, that's her fault. She should have showed up on time.
He's stupid for waiting an hour.
I wouldn't have waited.
But but you can't. You really can't blame him because I mean,
yes, you can. You waiting? How you wait an hour for a female to get? I would have been and like you're sitting outside. She didn't even invite you in. Like you're sitting outside in your car.
I don't know you like that.
like you're sitting outside in your car for an hour. Like really, dude?
I wouldn't have.
Nah, heck no. I would have pulled off. Like, oh, you ain't ready? 10 minutes, man. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. And you're not gonna invite me in? Like, what?
The common courtesy of you coming and I'm not ready. I should have told you that on the way. So therefore, if you do have reservations somewhere, you could have tried to see if we could move that back or something. I just felt like she was being inconvenienced. Like once you lost our reservation, I would have been pissed and I would have been headed out like, I'll talk to you later.
I would have replaced her.
You might not be ready, but I'm finna go.
I would have replaced her on the way. Like I would have been in the car during that hour, seeing who else is available. Like there's no way. Like there's no way that, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have somebody waiting an hour. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She fumbled that horribly.
But my thing is her face didn't look like it took an hour. Cause baby, that looked like some basic makeup that I was doing before I got into putting it all on just to go step outside. I'm like, and then you got this little with the little summer dress on, ma'am. You didn't put any thought into what you had on. You didn't look nice and presentable for an hour, baby. Let me show you what I can do in an hour, baby. I can get you together. We can change that. For me, what I didn't understand is it's the first date. It's not number 2. It's not number 3. It's the first date. Why does this man automatically got to go spend $100 at a nice restaurant and he don't know you? What if he don't like
she don't like him? That's why.
Baby, if she would eat off that $100, baby, she better come with some tip money, little drink money or something. I don't care what you say. I never go on the date without some type of cash, baby, because if I don't like it, divide this check.
I mean, that's you, Ash. Like everybody don't have code. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, Ash,
women have ego. Men have principle.
I don't know what it was. It just looked like a summer dress to me.
I don't know what that is. I don't know where they do that at. What summer that is? What summer that is?
The summer she would not get fed. That's what it was.
She could have had on a plastic.
She fall into a dress that didn't get her fed.
Listen, she could have had on a plastic bag. I wouldn't care. It was the disrespect for me.
Disrespect for shit, boy.
I don't care what she had on. I don't care what she looked like. You disrespect me by making me wait an hour. Then you're going to talk about the place I take you after I already booked you somewhere nice. And then you're going to put me online and try to embarrass me. No, ma'am, you are going home. Thank you.
Was nice for that.
For the time.
You would have been fooling with me.
She locked the door of his car like he didn't have the key. Like
I would have went in the Cheesecake Factory anyway and ate. And then hey, I'm going to go eat.
So they lose some confidence.
Call the police from the restaurant and say somebody broke into my car.
I wouldn't do that, but like I would definitely take my good old time. I would try to bag something at the bar, bring her back to the car, and be like, "Oh, you still here?" Like I would expect her to be gone. Like,
listen, that would have been player. Instead of taking her home, let me go ahead and go eat. You know what I'm saying? And if you here, you know what I'm saying, I may take you home.
That man was in disbelief.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
But I
be
feel
no
like she would,
disbelief. We wouldn't have left, baby.
She
She would have
doesn't.
been sitting there hungry. I'm sorry, she would have had to get up out my car, baby. You
She
better
doesn't
Uber,
deserve.
Lyft, bus.
She doesn't deserve my company. She got to go.
shoe
That
She
was
fly,
got to
crazy to
go. She
me.
killing my vibe. She got
shoe
to
fly,
go.
shoe.
He said shoe polish. And to me,
Dwayne,
I
what
just
you
felt
thinking,
like
bro?
any woman that disagree with her is just disrespectful. Cause to me, like every woman know if a man is late, they're gonna be rah, 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 rah. Like it could be the smallest thing. Dude could have had a flat or something like that. But women be trying to put these other women on the pedestal, like, oh, she's a queen. No, baby, they ain't no queen.
It's a
You
power
act like
move.
that. You ain't got no throne.
It was
You
a
a
power move.
parasite. Like,
It was
what
a
is you
stupid power
doing?
move.
Yeah, I said parasite because you infecting these other people and how they think. And anybody's on board with that is crazy too. Like, I understand, yes, I've been late. Baby, late. But I've always tried to make sure people understand, hey, I'm running late. I got this and this going on. I'll meet you there. If all else fails, I'll meet you there. Because that's being respectful. You didn't respect that man time. Then you try to put him on social media. Then you do it all this like you were just cute. Like you just went to Mac and got your makeup done. You didn't do any of that. For me, if you go take me out to what is it, Prime Rib or whatever one of these steak houses, I'm finna put it on. Like Prototype said, I ain't finna come out and embarrass you. We finna dress up like we going to the Christmas dinner. This finna be a whole item right here on the menu. Okay? Like to me, I just felt like she was disrespectful. She was out of pocket. And then you felt like you deserved something better than a cheesecake and you an hour late. No, baby, you should have been in somebody drive-through.
Took
McDonald's.
these Buffalo Poppers and kept it moving.
Okay.
She can't even get the 2 for 20, baby.
What you got, Dwayne?
No, I was just thinking like the level of ungratefulness is something that is one of the most unattractive characteristics that a woman can have. I'll even say just anybody can have, because yeah, in a situation like that, man, you go ahead and get out. If not, like y'all said, hey, I'd have got out. I'd have went off about my business, and then see, I wouldn't even left the car on. You'd have been, hey, if you would, I wouldn't even crack the windows. All right, I hope it was in the summertime. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's rough. Yeah, to me that's disgusting. And again, the whole looking at herself, the social media. I think social media is a parasite. Okay, because that's what she went to. You shake your head, Prototype. I'm dead serious on this, because why is it? And this goes to something else too. Like whenever you see fights going out, what is the first thing, or any kind of drama or anything happen? What do people do?
World
they take
Star.
out their phone. World Star, right? They done made a whole name out of it. World Star, whole area where you could go just for stuff like that. So, what was the purpose of her pulling out her camera in order to record that event, but to embarrass him? But in turn, she embarrassed herself because now she's putting herself out. But then but to your point, Ash, there are other women that look at this like, man, look at this food here, the Cheesecake Factory, man. Earlier, I believe it was Brandon that said, even whenever they're hungry, right? See how they're gonna act. In my mind, I was thinking, you know what? For my sons, I'm gonna be like, hey, son, check this out, right? If you want to see if she like you, get a flat on purpose, right? Know she's hungry and get a flat on purpose, and then see how she act during that whole situation. If she cool, copacetic, even though she hungry, even though y'all broke down on the side of the road, and she cool with you, that's the one. If she busts out her phone, start recording, look at this fool right here with the flat tire. I'm hungry and all. That's just one. Hey, I guess you got to test them nowadays. Okay, you got to do tests. Put them in situations. All right, real life situations. Will you survive? Okay, for me and for you.
You know what though? You know, the interesting thing about women who actually like you, they'll serve you. Ask her to do something for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bring me something to eat. She'll do it if she like you. She won't do it if she don't like you. And no, I mean, just it could be something small, and a small test, anything. Just tell her to do something that serves you, and that'll see if she likes you or not.
Yeah, they'll do small things.
It's the big things that count.
I mean, but even like, it's the little bit of submissiveness that you need. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, be my alarm clock. Wake me up in the morning from you know what I mean. So I'm not late. You know, that's something you could do very early. Like, hey, wake. I got to get up at 5 o'clock. Can you make sure you call me at 5 a.m.? You know what I'm saying? Knowing she don't got to do it or whatever. Hey, call me at 5 a.m. Make sure I get up. Something
Yeah,
like that.
one of the things that I told y'all this before. One of the things that Kendra did that I didn't know that she was doing is that she's a hairstylist and she has all type of hours. One thing that she did was she made sure that she didn't take any clients before 9, just in case my kids needed to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Now that type of stuff, is the thing that Prototype is talking about. She served me in a way, and I didn't even know that that's how she was serving me, right? Until maybe months later, and I said, well, I need you to do something for me with the kids, and she was like, that's no problem because I scheduled it to where I don't get nothing before 9, just in case I need to take them somewhere. Those are the type of women that you should be trying to look for. And they out there. It's just a matter of you as an individual being serious about looking for them. Right?
Yeah, she anticipated your need, and that's wonderful. That is wonderful.
For sure.
You gotta pay attention too. You also gotta pay attention.
What do you mean, Brandon? You saying who have to pay attention?
You were saying like the things you need to look out for, for women. I was like, yeah, you need to look out for it, but you also gotta pay attention in order to see that and not be blinded by, the fat ass or the thick thighs or the very, very pretty feet.
Why can't you have all of that?
Huh?
Why can't you have all of that?
Because it all can be bought. That's why. It all can be bought.
Nah.
Yeah.
We need to stop the notion that attractive people can't be good people. We need to stop.
It's
attractive
not
people can be
Why
good
you
people.
getting upset about that, bro?
Because people always said, "Oh, stop looking for the girl with the pretty face or the fat butt or the," you know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Well,
attractive people can be nice people too.
That's the simple. That's a simple piece. Like for men, we are visual. So that's the easy surface level, and that's how simps get got. Is because that's what we look for, right? And we don't look at the heart because
Did you just call yourself a simp, Dwayne?
At the simplest part, yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was. I'm reformed. I'm saved. I'm a new man.
That's right.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, I was. Yes, I was out there trying to, meals on wheels. Okay, for the pretty ones.
Yeah, a lot of people stop at pretty. You know what I mean? Instead of using that as like as the accelerator, people just stop. If you pretty, that's all I need to know. Instead of being like, oh, you pretty, okay, and what do you also have these other things that I'm also gonna need for you? You pretty, you check one of the check marks, maybe a major one, but I need these other things too, because no matter how pretty you are, if you don't have those other things, then you just got a pretty ornament. If that's what you want, go ahead and handle that, but don't get on Humble Dad's podcast on something, I can't find me a good woman. All they are is gold diggers.
He said and not or Prototype. And not or. That's a big difference.
You say
and not or. There's a big difference, man.
That's what's hey, did you want to say something? Is my point valid?
Nah, I'm good. I'm just listening right now.
Okay, for sure. Hey, listen, if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. They say just do one thing at a time, so one of the things you can do is just press the like button, for the people out there. This is a really good dialogue. And as you can see, I'm transitioning different places, not anything particular other than having the dialogue about how to choose and what it looks like to choose and where your headspace needs to be when you're choosing. And I had maybe an off the wall question. Maybe it's connected to this Cheesecake Factory scenario, but what are your thoughts on the man expecting the box after he pays for the date? Thoughts on the man expecting the box after he pays for the date?
I think that comes from the understanding that most women have had a one night stand, and no man wants to be less. Like if another man was able to get it in a one night stand, I want it too. Now, if you make all men wait, you know what I mean, and you're being a lady like that, I don't mind waiting. But if I go on a date with you and there's a high chance that you don't let somebody else smack on the first day, I want that same treatment because ain't no man better than me. So I think that's the notion behind the if I'm paying, you know what I'm saying, then I should get some too.
I believe that's put on the table of how some of them act. I'm not going to lie about that because what is it? You feed them, they might as well get you a little treat at the end, get a little dessert. Because some of them put it out there like that. It's not like a genuine date. Oh, let me get to know you. It's, oh, feed me and I shall feed you later. That's the way some women operate. Like I said, I bring my purse. Baby, I got my money. I'm not going to play with you. I'm not coming off nothing. I ain't finna do nothing. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't finna play with you. That's why I stay in the house until I'm called outside. But I really think it's how modern women put it on the table. Like, we finna go out to eat. Cause you got some people that are labeling folks' phone, Mr. Feed Me or food guy or whatever, because that's what it is. Like Dwayne say, the sips out here that's willing to pay money just for that attention or just for to increase their chances of being with the woman they probably don't really want them. They just want the ornament or eye candy for the moment. Like, oh, I had her. She ain't nothing but a little cheesecake factory meal. That's all you got to do to get her. Because men talk in they circles. And hey, if you know Tanisha over there is easy, 1, 2, 3, you gonna tell the 1, 2, 3 to get her and pass around the circle, then get on up out of there.
I agree with that, Ash.
That's
I feel like it's all in the presentation. Like men know if a girl gonna give it up or not. Men know that type of woman. So if you're going on a date with a modest woman, you're not even gonna try that card because you already know what time it is. So it's all in how women present themselves. If you present yourself like a one night stand, I'm gonna try you. Bottom line.
Even a modest woman though, like I think if if you think you didn't try if you didn't try a modest woman and later on found out that she wasn't so modest at once upon a time, wouldn't you be mad at that?
I wouldn't say mad. I mean, for me, I just had to keep it moving. I mean, try it again next time.
Here you go. You didn't order the mimosa right. You didn't get the right combination. That's all. Just try it again.
If at first you don't succeed.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm not taking nobody nowhere unless they threaten me with a good time first. I'm not doing it. My thing is that she has to be attracted to me first. Or we're not going nowhere. That's it. I can't tell y'all how many times that I've been on dates with women. Well, that's such a great friend. We're not playing great friends anymore. That's the reason why a lot of women ain't getting taken out on dates anymore. You're playing a dirty game. And guess what? It didn't got out. I did an article, man, that said 30% of women only go on dates just to eat. Well, guess what? The secret is out, and I think that number's a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think it's higher than that. I think it's higher than that.
Exactly.
I don't know where they were
both
asking
know it's higher than that.
True.
You know
I
it's higher than
think
that.
it's higher than that. I think some men gamble that we got enough game to kind of turn it over.
Nah.
And some take that risk, like she might only like me a little bit, but let me work my magic, spit my game, and I don't know, maybe I just got too many savage friends, man. Like that's just that's just what it is. Like we're gonna try our luck here.
I think that's
pressure luck,
increasing
big money, whammy, no bucks. You know what I'm saying? Nah. No, she got to threaten me with a good time first, man. You got to show me that you want me.
And how does she do that? How did she show you? Man, if y'all don't go on a date, y'all just having a conversation.
Without conversation. If she asks me anything about me, that's a green flag. If she asks me anything about what I'm doing in the future, that's a green flag. If she asks me what are my hobbies, what are my interests, what am I into, what am I doing, she checks in on my podcast. She said, you know what? I love that podcast you did with X, Y, and Z. And that I had no idea that you thought that way. To me, that's somebody who's vested. That is somebody who can get my time. Gentlemen, you have to pay attention. And lady, you have to pay attention. Find somebody who's vested in you. And that's who you vest in.
Dwayne, I think you had something to say, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I agree. I agree with Lost in Translation. that kind of goes in with the what I was saying earlier about the reciprocity, the interest there. You know, there's got to be interest there in her not being afraid to kind of, you know, show you that she's interested in you as well. It's not all a one way road, and I think a lot of women get that messed up in the sense of just like they expecting the man to kind of go in 100 and then they get to judge whether or not they'll accept that 100 and then kind of maybe return a little bit. But it's like, nah, you see me going on, you see me interested, you know, show me that you're interested as well, and that's just gonna make you want to go even harder. So I think for me personally, that's definitely one of the things I learned from during the pandemic. Actually, I think that helped. I think that definitely helped turn my game around. Was the pandemic not being able to meet people in person, like off rip, kind of made me kind of build up my ground game, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like the talk game, like how we had to communicate. You had to like be worthy of me technically risking my life to come meet you in person. So we had to talk. You got to have a good mouthpiece on you, figuratively, and then literally.
That boy paused and then said
what that mouth
yeah, so you know, and to your point, what Lost was saying about you know, checking on a podcast, you know, showing interest in things that I do that has nothing to do with her. You know, like I say, an example for me was like she found out that I like podcasts. I was interested in podcasting. She started giving me recommendations based off like the things that I like, that things that she's heard me talk about before. She said, "Hey, I think you'll like these people." She put me on the cruise season, and I've been rocking with them ever since. So like her doing little things like that make a very, very big difference. And,
hey, you glowing, Doc. You glowing.
Yeah, I got me one.
When is the did y'all talk about a date?
No, we just enjoying being engaged. We're probably gonna get into that like in January over New Year. It's gonna let that ride out through the holidays and get into it in like January, top of the year.
That's what's up. What makes you want to be married?
What makes you want to be married?
What makes you want to be married? Yeah,
she did. I mean, before I met her, I was pretty much coming to the conclusion I was gonna ride this out solo dolo. You know what I'm saying? I knew I wanted to be married as a kind of like a life goal, like something to check off. And I said, hey, I want to be married, but it was one of those one day type of things. And then like I met her and I was like, oh shit, maybe that day is gonna be a little bit sooner than I thought. And that ain't never happened to me before. So I followed that. I followed my gut on that one. And I'm coming up, you know, it's going on 7 so far.
That's what's up. So would you say to somebody, well, if you're not thinking about it, how would you advise somebody? Because right now, the information that is preceding us is telling men not to be married. So we'll talk about that as a unit. That's the information right now, is not to be married. What would you say?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't understand where that sentiment is coming from. You know, sir, a part of me definitely kind of agrees with it, and there was a part of me that agreed with it damn near 100%. So I definitely understand, you know where they're coming from. But I will say that there are women out there who not getting married to would make you feel like you are failing, like you will regret it if you didn't try to lock that down. And I think it's just a matter of just trying to prioritizing, trying to meet those type of women. And I think for me, I want to say I got lucky, but I also want to be optimistic enough to believe that there are other women like that out there, but also recognizing that like it don't look like that for everybody, and like not at that in them numbers, but you know, at the heart of it, I do think that there are women out there who will make you rethink your whole life, and while they're rare, they out there.
Make you rethink your whole life. Prototype. What's on your mind, bro? Put some stank on it.
He's thinking about if all the boxes are checked.
I'm sorry.
The giggles got him by the toes, man.
This is a good moment.
Got him by the toes.
Prototype, you ain't got words, man.
You got this.
Oh man. These girls ain't special, man. Ain't none of them special, dog.
I don't know.
You out there talking about, oh, this is special. Ain't none of them special.
What you mean by that?
You
Can
say
you elaborate a little bit?
Go ahead, Dwayne.
No, can you elaborate a little bit when you say they're not special?
I think he lost in translation.
Oh no, you better
Look,
get
man,
the translation back.
I say it all the time, right? It goes back to what I be saying, man. They all could be good girls if you the man. You just got to be a certain one.
No, Protot.
I mean, you can disagree if you want to. I mean, I don't know what your experience is here for it, but
no.
You,
I'm
like
going
I
off
said,
what
every woman could be. They're followers. They're followers, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're all followers.
But if
every woman could be a good woman for a certain man. If she's not a good woman for you, you're just not that guy to her.
Well, no, for you. No, I'm talking about for you. The one
for me, what?
The one the one you picked had to have been special because you were talking about checking all the boxes. Mediocre ain't gonna just check. It's just gonna check just a few. Special is gonna check a lot of the boxes. So, like for you, one of the criteria is feet, right? So, not many of them have pretty feet. The special one.
There's enough pretty feet out. I mean, but I have the option to be selective like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it has to be a special
she had
one.
to have been special.
Huh? No, there's plenty of women with pretty feet.
Man, boy, I tell you.
I mean, pretty feet isn't there.
But the thing of it is though, what the point is in your contradiction prototype is that because you are a man in which has options, which a lot of men do not have options. With the options, that means that you could have chose any of these women, but you decided on this one for a particular reason, which makes her special.
No.
Oh my goodness!
And see, this is let me finish this thought, and I'm gonna get this in lost in translation. Do you remember in the back chat, and we were talking about logic? You remember that?
Yeah.
And he said logic just won't work sometimes. And so this is a situation.
I mean, that's not logic. There's plenty. There's plenty out there. There's plenty. There's a plethora.
Yeah, but why did you choose that one?
The one I had at the moment. There's plenty.
Damn,
call in the room. Call in the room and tell her.
There's plenty.
Don't do it, Brandon.
No.
Okay, I mean, it just is what it is, man. Like,
go ahead. Is my point valid? Go ahead. What you wanted to say?
I was just gonna ask him, what's his definition of special? What's special to you? Prototype.
Ain't none of them special. What you mean? Like, I don't know what special is because ain't none of them special.
All right.
Okay, so none of them special. So they all
the same.
Average. Yeah, well, man, that's a tough one. I tell you, yeah.
I definitely don't agree with that.
I don't either.
You three.
Man,
there is nobody that's gonna agree with Prototype on
this. I'm not telling y'all to. I mean, but your perspective is based on where you sit. You know what I'm saying? So
nah, bro.
It just is what it is.
I have options as well. You know what I'm saying? And I understood that there had to be a particular one to be in the shoes to in my particular situation, in my scenario. You don't want to concede that you're wrong. That's what this one is.
That's not true at all.
So going back to what you said earlier, Prototype, you were saying how they have to be a certain way or whatever. If they weren't that certain way, then they're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So the fact that you chose her,
there's a lot of them
that makes her special or exceptional or however you want to say
it.
There's
a lot of them. Special would be like distinct.
Yeah, set apart.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't take away from the fact that there are some out there, though.
There's a lot out there.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a lot out there.
That's a contradiction right there, then.
That's not a contradiction. I'm just saying there's a lot out there.
I know you're going to come in real quick. Help Prototype out. What you got?
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm actually in agreement with Prototype, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Men always tell women there are plenty of good men out there, and then what they'll tell you, no, it's not. No, it's not. And we already know for a fact it is. Just like there are plenty of good women out there. You know what I'm saying? And people will say, no, it's not, but we know that it is. It's all about your perspective. And I wanted to speak to what Brandon said earlier, and you asked him why he wanted to get married, and he said, hey, it was that time. Is that an honest answer, Brandon? To be honest, you said you wanted to get. What was the reason why you said you wanted to get married?
Oh, I said she made me like push forward. Like she made me reevaluate the whole concept of or whether or not I wanted to get married or not. She was just an exceptional woman for me.
Now, no other woman made you want to get married. Is that correct?
Nope, not to that point.
What made her different from the other ones?
She was special.
How? That's the question. How?
Thank you, Brandon.
How?
Okay. How was she special?
Yes, to you, because that's important.
All right. She was able to speak to me. She was able to speak to me in a manner that I didn't even recognize I needed. She was able to speak life into me. She was able to encourage me to reach for goals and dreams that I kind of left by the wayside. I think that she inspired. I know she inspired me to be a better me, a better version of me, if only just so I can be better for her.
Okay. Now, just to give you, thank you for your answer. Just to give you a perspective. The other week I did a podcast on whether marriage is a capstone or a cornerstone. From what I'm hearing to you, she's a cornerstone because she is the beginning of the new you. You see what I'm saying? She's actually setting the foundation for a new relationship and a new you and a new her because she's introducing you to new ideas. This is somebody who you can build with further. You see what I'm saying? There are some people who only get married just because, hey, it's about that time. And that's a bad way to do it. You know what I'm saying? They'll go out there and they get their car, they get their degree, they get their house, they get this fantastic job. Sometimes they'll get a kid before they get married. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And then to set it off, to top it off, then they put the capstone on top of it and say, hey, I'm married now. Which in essence, it should be turned upside down. And that way, your marriage should be the foundation of you going forward. So I'm congratulating you on that particular situation because you recognize that this woman going forward is going to be your foundation, which is what made her special to you.
Which proves the point that
there are some special ones out there.
Because if it was so many out there wouldn't be so many that are single.
But to be honest, they could do it if they choose to do it.
But I agree. Yeah. But I also would say this though, to Prototype's point, is that a dope dude can change a lot of different women to be that woman. That's what I would say. The reason why is because so many of them want that particular dude that is hard to get. So they're willing to adapt. We talked about that, Dwayne. Remember that? Women find themselves wondering why they doing most of the changing in a relationship. Well, it's because you're supposed to be adapting to your man. That's why, and so it may be uncomfortable because you see that because dudes don't really change much. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to somebody else say this too. I think it may have been Tony Haskins that men don't really change a lot. I mean, we grow, but it's in a steady progress, so to speak, right? With a woman, they are they're followers, right? So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, here's my leader. This is what he's doing. This is the environment that he has created. And so this is how I will flourish or die in this particular environment, right? So that is the part in which I do agree with Prototype, that a dope dude can set the environment for a type of woman where she will have to adjust to him, or she's not gonna be able to be on his ship or his boat or whatever. Is that what you were trying to say, Prototype?
I mean, yeah, you yes, but it's all of it's like this. everybody wants to work for Google. I'm in IT, so everybody, Google is the dream job. Be the dream job, and then everybody wants to work for you. They'll change the way they walk, talk, dress, because they want to work at Google.
True, but not everyone can make it in Google. You can get in the door at Google, but how long can you stay working there? Because if you're not producing, you're not doing what you got hired to do, they're gonna get somebody else who can. So it's like it's not if you can get it, it's if you can keep it.
Be Google.
Who keep it are special.
Be Google.
Yes, but then I guess I am still stuck on that special piece. If there is no
Boy, it's always a word that be triggering us on
heck yeah, because if there's no exceptional, right? There's nothing that rises above. There's no top shelf, right? There's plenty of drinks out there, but there's top shelf. There's plenty of brands out there, but then there's top shelf. I'm just saying, like in a sea of mediocre, there has to be something that rises above the others,
but there's plenty of top shelves.
Of course there are, right? So to
quality top shelf.
There's quality.
There's plenty of quality top shelves.
Hold on.
But you compare it to other top shelves. You don't compare it to the rest of
right.
everything.
Absolutely.
But like from an athlete standpoint, like so you said what football, right? So there are plenty of quarterbacks out there that are quality, that are exceptional. But how many of them are like Patrick Mahomes? How many of them are I don't know, pick one that got the most rings. For basketball, how many of them are Jordans? How many of them are Kobe's? How many of them are LeBron's? You have role players, but you have superstars. That's what I'm sitting here saying. There's a separation.
How many superstars are there?
It's slim.
It's not a lot.
It's not.
But there's more than one.
Of course, there's more than one. But in it, once you got one on your team, identify it as such. It is special. I got a special player on my team. Identify it as such, and embrace it. So instead, like what oh boy,
how many special players have the Lakers had?
They had quite a few.
But there's one that stands above them all.
Absolutely.
Be the Lakers.
No, but I'm saying, but whenever so even with that, if that is your team, identify that you got a special team. I just want to identify it as such. If it's special, call it special. And I believe what Lost in Translation will say is special to you.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. In the 70s, they thought Magic was the thing, right? And before that, it was Jerry West. They didn't know that Kobe was down the line. They didn't know LeBron was down the line. You know what I'm saying? So of course you might get a better player down the line. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was talking about. When we're in our 20s, we make certain decisions, and then when we're in our 30s, we make certain decisions. You know what I'm saying? I just hit 40, so I mean I'm done anyway. But y'all understand what I'm saying? We don't know what's down but there's special. I mean, of course, there's special players, but whatever. There's more. There's more to come.
Yeah. Well, you just special, revised, refined, matured.
I'm just saying because there's more to come. None of them are special.
No.
If we're all special, then no one's special.
Exactly. And I'm raising my kids to be exceptional.
Just because there's more down the line doesn't take away from the fact that they're actually special.
Come on now, identify it as such.
This has been phenomenal. We gonna like for real, it has been. You know what I'm saying? I'm always appreciative of the time that y'all allot, but I'm respectful of it as always. And I enjoyed that y'all stand 10 toes down on whatever your perspective is and bringing insight from your vantage point. So real quick, like 30 seconds, where can we find you? And what was your takeaway for this evening? We're going to start at the top. Is my point valid? Where can they find you? And what was your takeaway for this evening?
You can find me. I'm a official Stocker Family, STOCKER on everything. So everything social media, it's the same. Is my point valid? Is the podcast on all the podcast streaming platforms? My takeaway is everybody has different perspectives. It's always good to have conversations so we can understand everybody and where they're coming from, their point of view, and all of that there. So I I'm just glad to be in the building. I appreciate everybody who showed up. Appreciate y'all having me and all that.
Absolutely. Brandon, on you.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? Yeah, y'all can find me at the Buffet Podcast on YouTube, and also everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. You can find me on IG as well at the Buffet Pod. You also can find me here on Humble Dad's podcast every two to three Mondays. And something that I took from this is capstone versus cornerstone. I like that. I'm taking it. I said it. Appreciate you. Lost in translation, and having that. I like that. I really like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna use that before. I appreciate that.
Lost in translation on you.
Thank you, sir. My final thought in this particular situation, today's trigger word is special. I really enjoyed today's trigger word. You know what I'm saying? Every week is something different. You know what I mean? But I really do appreciate you guys. I really do, because you guys stretch our thinking. Even though sometimes we have to go back around the mountain to get to Prototype's point, we still arrive back. You know what I'm saying? We'll start calling Prototype Thanos. He would be like, dreaded, run from it, but destiny arrives all the same. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: I appreciate Prototype's perspective. I really do. But today I really learned that picking the right spouse is so important, man. And here's the thing: you can't choose your wife from a place of selfishness, because you'll end up like Will, and that, to me, that's a tragedy, man. Everybody looked at their situation as the it couple and the gold standard as it turns into relationships. And what happened with everything else, it fell apart. It's a little tarnished right now. But my thing is I would probably, deep down in my heart, I would wish them the best. You know what I mean? To get back to being better. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to see marriages fail. I like to see them flourish. And whatever they have to do to get back, do that. But if you're not, hey, y'all need to separate, man, and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And get back to being better people. So that's my thing. You guys can find me here on Monday nights. Humble Dad Podcast. You can find me on Black Men Unfiltered on Talk Dead Talk Tuesday. You can always find me on Friday on my podcast from 8 o'clock to 8:30 at Lost in Translation Podcast, and from 8:30 until whenever we finish at the barbershop. And lastly, you can find me on Sunday nights on my channel. We'll be hosting Super Sunday. So we have all kind of thought-provoking conversations at night from 8:30 until maybe about 10:30. I want to keep people too late. So I'm busy all the time. If you want to find me, I'm always around. So thank you so much for having me again. And good evening, and thank you. Good night.
As always, Prototype on you.
Man, I want to thank you for this platform, man. I have fun every week. Man, you can find me at Prototype Kingdom now. You know what I'm saying? It used to be just Prototype Dad, but we got the ladies incorporated, man, and we love their perspective on what the struggles they have as a mom. And it's really all about building the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Our whole platform is about building the kingdom of us. You know what I mean? So Prototype Dad on Tuesday nights. You find me on Humble Dad on Monday nights. Prototype Dad Tuesday nights. And I'm just hosting and moderating on Wednesdays. I try to lead the ladies to do what they do instead of they say. I just ask the questions and shut up. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically how Wednesday nights are gone. Yeah, man. Prototype Kingdom podcast. You can find us on IG, YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple, whatever.
That's what's up. Appreciate you. My wife wanted me to tell you that she appreciates you being consistent, Prototype, because you and Dwayne, y'all are like the longest running members right now. You know what I'm saying? So she wanted me to tell you that she appreciate that. Ash, on you.
Okay. What I'm taking away is I'm not special at all. Okay.
See, Prototype, look what you done did, man. Tear them all down. It's not just you, Ash. It's not just you.
I am not one of the million, baby. That's not what's going down here. But on a serious note, not to be out here being embarrassing. That's my biggest takeaway, because I feel like when you embarrass your man, you embarrass your family, and you bring in shame. It's like, before we put something out here for attention, we need to make sure that we're not hurting everybody involved. You can find me here on Humble Dad Podcast or any other place where I get invited. I'll try to show up on time, but everybody know single parent life rules, okay? You can find me on Instagram, 360.diva.
Last but not least, on you, Dwayne.
Man, again, HD, man, love the platform. Appreciate the opportunity to come on here and listen and learn. So it's always a joy hearing everybody's perspective. You can find me at DwayneJonesPhotography.com. Takeaway from of the week or the day: nobody's special. That's it. Nobody's special. I appreciate that prototype. Well, man, the rest of this week gonna be, man.
I know you're gonna be talking about this.
Wait, my kids, man, you better get away from me. You ain't special.
Y'all all the same. You know, so Prototype, for you to be building a kingdom, you would just tell Jesus, what would you say to him? You know what I'm saying? You are not set apart, like all y'all. But hey, I appreciate y'all, man, for real. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all go check out everybody that's on the platform. Rock with them heavy. And also go visit over at humbledad.life. We got some merch over there if you want to get at it. And then next week we might talk about what makes you special. That might be the topic for next week. We'll see what it do. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see them about to impact the world.